Okay, thank you so much, and good morning to all of you. It's really good to see all of you gathered there. It's our sincere gratitude that you all made it this morning, and my apologies that I could not make it in person. So for me, it's just to welcome you all, and also maybe just to ensure that we can achieve the objective for this meeting. So my name is Florence Sievo. I'm the Executive Director of the SDG Kenya Forum. SDG Kenya Forum is a coalition of civil society organizations that are championing SDGs from SDG 1 to SDG 17. And so one of our mandates is to ensure that we leave no one behind. And that's the reason why today we are focusing on young people.
How we've gotten here. The history of SDGs is very rich. And I think I would say that they were adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015, and it provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people on the planet, and they say now and into the future. So at the core of the SDGs are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are has a nature of urgent call for action by all nations that are signatory to that call. So whether developed or developing, and then some kind of global partnership. So one of the most critical points that was picked from there was that it recognizes the fact that there's need to end poverty and other deprivations that goes hand in hand with strategies that improve health, education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth. And you could say that that statement is actually what depicts Millennium Development Goals. Those were what we used to call the unachieved business. So they were brought in to the SDGs, and you could see the aspirations in Goal 1, Goal 2, Goal 3, Goal 4, and Goal 5, the people's goals. So there are also other elements that are actually added in there, like climate change, and just working to preserve the oceans and forests. So
thank you, Arnold. Good morning to everyone. It's really a great pleasure to join you today virtually. As Arnold mentioned, I was to join you, but faced some logistical challenges. But it's truly a pleasure to be here with you. This youth pre-conference is really, it's been a long time coming. For the group of us who've been, part of the youth and SDG space for a very long time, we've had the pleasure of participating in about 3 or 4 SDG multi-stakeholder engagement forums. And over the years, we repeatedly mentioned to the forum that we really need to ensure that we have youth inclusion in these forums. We are the generation that would definitely implement the SDGs, ensure that we achieve all the goals, even beyond 2030. And so allow me to really pass a huge congratulatory message to the SDG Kenya Forum, the Champion for SDGs, and all the partners who worked to put this event together. Really, as a build-up towards the summit that will happen in December, the forum that will happen in December, I think we have a really great opportunity to ensure that this is just the start, that we, in 2023 and beyond, that we continue to ensure that young people are at the heart of what the SDG community does, that we have a seat at the table. And finally, this has happened, that we are finally being heard. And so really hoping that there'll be an opportunity for more young people to be part of the forum come December, to really share their opinions, because we have the energy, we have the zeal, we have the creativity.
We participate in several ways, the periodic session, but we're also tracking to see where the countries are in terms of importance for SDGs. So we do what we call the voluntary national reviews, which is state-led. I think India mentioned that. And the State Department Planning, which is the SDG lead with the ministry. And different sectors within the government is also actually prepared with which is
you pick a premise, then you run with it. Either way, it's not that you become like an expert of that area, or you can do it randomly. Define skills, education, technology.
It's you sending yourself and also pushing yourself into other areas. It's youths can engage themselves in activities that they are not sure of. I can say at times you feel like I'm not confident enough, I'm not creative enough, I'm not innovative enough. But whatever you are thinking can be very creative, can be very innovative without you knowing.
I believe by sharing opportunities with each other, encouraging our friends also, is how now we build this movement and we bring everybody on board. And through this movement is how we can break the stereotype, yeah? Because once the youth are united, is how we can tell this, the bosses at top that, yo, here's our voice.
And sometimes I say thank God for COVID sometimes, because then COVID has really revolutionized, for example, the workspace. Right now we have remote working policies, for example. Young people are like, okay, this is the kind of working I want. SDGs are not somewhere in the air. They have to be in those budgets. They have to be in those plans, right? So if you don't influence the development of your county for the next 5 years, SDGs will come here, talk about it, then go back. It has to be mainstreamed in the national and the county planning processes.
Whether there is an opportunity or not, be consistent in pursuit for that.
There are universities. There is one about the challenges, there is one about the recommendations, there is one about the opportunities.
Last
and if you see any opportunities in which you want to be involved, please highlight them.
We have so many funds outside here from our government. They have been disposed in the public for youth to apply for the case of innovations, to come up with our innovations, the things we think we can add to the world and make it a better place. And mine was just, can we, mine was a challenge because I've seen it not working for us. Can we imply other method, these funds, kama zinaweza rudishwa, hazirudishi kwa government, but the government take the initiative of building the industries and coming up with innovating centers where they give us now the opportunity to go and take our knowledge there as we even get the employment from those places. Because when they give us the money, most of it get lost, most of it we don't see it. Can we do it the other way? Like, we have done it this way, but we have not seen it working. Can we now try the other way?
I also want my question to be posed to the General Conference, that how are the business stakeholders avoiding the SDGs greenwashing in relation to the greenwashing, and how are the SDG indicators being met? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question.
For the young people, we really need to go to our counties and be involved in the formation of the CADPs.
We are talking of us looking at how SDGs are being implemented. But again, I think majorly we are doing it in the elite, space, like people who are educated. But I think we need to get into the roots and try to also make this point and bring it home, because especially for the pastoralist communities and those marginalized communities, they don't have this information. And as we know right now, we have a crisis of what we call it, the drought crisis in the country, and these people do not know anything to do with this climate action and stuff. Although it used to be there, but the implications, whatever is happening right now. So I wish maybe the stakeholders and whoever is going to take part in the conference would look for a way to be able to reach these people and see what can be done so that they are included. I think public participation is very important. Sometimes they put up these programs and they don't involve the people who are directly affected by this program. So I think public participation is very important and it will help us in achieving these goals. Thank you.
Najua place naishi kuna youth, mimi ndo mkubwa. Sasa they do drugs, ukiwauliza mbona wanasema hatuna kazi. Kulikuwa na kazi mtahani ikastopishwa. Sasa badala ya wao kuzura kazi yao ni kutake drugs, halafu wezi tembea usiku kwa mani kitu 7 unanyongwa na tunaibiwa. Sasa SDG 8 and 9 sijui tawakaje, at least government na we wasaidia kitu ya kufanya ndo mambo na drugs na kunyonga aidha tutakopa.
I'm running an organization with a friend of mine where we teach young kids around 7 years old to code. And I realized it's very easy for very young kids to code than teaching an adult how to code a program. So why am I saying this? Children are very easy to understand these SDGs. And so when we teach the kids, the young people, about, not the young, I don't want to use young people, we never use young kids. The kids about SDGs, and you create songs about SDGs, they can actually create awareness than us. How? Number one, these kids will start singing songs like SDG. And then they will go home and, Mom, decent jobs. You know? And the same mom is actually working in an environment that's not decent. You know? And so these kids, so what is our role as youths? Because the next time, I'm sure people like Arnold will be in Finland doing some other work of SDG. But now the people who left here in Kenya, who are our coming generation, won't have that opportunity or don't know what to do. Let us start from the grassroots. Let us help these kids to know about the SDGs so that when they become around your age, they are like, these things, let us live like ABCD, you know. And so maybe I would ask everyone in this room, what is our role in helping the coming generation to teach them about the SDGs? Thank you so much.
At what rate have we partnered with the government, being a leader by birth and being a politician by vocation? At what rate have we partnered with this government in charge to make sure that these goals are there for them to cultivate well, and for us, the youth, upcoming youths, and also the young ones, to achieve what we need?
Kuna goals specific, not like specific. Kuna goals kadhaa concentratiwa sana, and then ukiangalia goal kama sustainable cities and communities, leo ni kama ijaongelewa sana like other goals. Actually, there is a rising issue on gender equality because siku hizi watu wana focus on the equality but hawaangalii justice. For example, there are 3 guys. One is tall, like very tall. One is medium, and another is short. The other one is short. Mwenye ni mrefu, sasa watu wanacheza game kwa fence. Kwa mrefu anaweza ona game, si ndio? But so mfupi ata struggle kuona game. Sasa tukiongelea kuhusu equality, sasa mfupi haoni, utampea stool. Wengine ulize, kwa nini umempea stool, sisi hatupei? Sasa hapo ukiapply gender equality, who really needs it the most? Kuna mtu atapata extra profits from it. Na tukiongelea kuhusu justice is where you look at who needs it the most. Nani anahitaji that thing very very urgently. True. Aya, mtu mrefu hahitaji stools. Ndio anaweza ona game. Mtu average anaweza TikTok kidogo aone. Mtu mfupi lazima umpe stool aone. So mkiongelea kuhusu gender equality, men are also getting hurt because gender equality, most of us are talking about sana in mental health. Men are taught, uko na shida, go drink and come back home when you're straight. because men are not allowed, in community, men are not allowed to vent out their anger to everyone. True or false?
I don't have a question, but this is just a suggestion, because whatever that will come out of this conference will be used in the coming conference. So, please, for us to achieve the 17 goals is not an easy journey or an easy task to achieve, unless we put politics aside from these goals. Cannot be achieved unless our people, our leaders become serious and remove the political part from these goals. It would be easy to achieve. Trust me. When it comes to the poverty has become a lucrative business for our leaders to gain wealth and to gain resources. Kindly, if it is the 17 goals, I love Egypt, is in Africa, but the way it is developed is more developed than our own country. Let's be specific to Kenya. We are discussing about a global issue, but to be specific, we are in Kenya and we should be concentrated on Kenyan matters. So as to achieve the 17 goals, we need to divide them. We cannot achieve them all at once. Let's prioritize. Priority is important among all these goals.
Have one grant that should address, the SDGs. And I'm wondering, is that acceptable? Can we have a grant that that will facilitate all the SDGs? Because as they say, but yes, okay, there's yes, there's no, but as even the last commentator say, there are some that should be prioritized because of the current issues that are happening. Because the issues that happen, they're seasonal, right? So we can't have one grant that addresses all the cities. Okay, that was my question. Is it appropriate? Should we consider that?
We're currently having carbon footprints. I don't know if I totally understand what it means when I say carbon footprint. I'm trying to mean, like, what amount of carbon are you releasing in the environment? And then a number of with Kenyans, I feel we are lagging behind because we lack information. I don't know if at all I'm making sense to you people, but I feel we're lagging so much behind just because of ignorance and misinformation.
Mine is to tell the ones who are, that's very quick, the ones who are going to the conference, represent us. We have gotten some funds in my group, and one of the biggest issues that we are finding, we are in the waste management sector, where we are trying to recycle plastics and glass wastes into agricultural solutions such as greenhouses, glass houses, urban garden solutions, any. So that's what we are doing. And one of the biggest issues that we are finding is that you have said that in the conference there will be government officials. So kindly, on the taxes and the incentives that have been put up for the startups, concerning for the startups, we are getting a problem there, because we find that a business that has already been in production and one that is already starting, that's just starting right now, most of the times in very many sectors they are charged around the same tax, and then this affects us very badly, because when we start, we don't actually now realize our potential as an upcoming startup. So kindly, upon that, check on that and improve on that.
Please share out your metrics out there so that other organizations can build up. Actually, it's all about what I call knowledge brokering. So if you put your information, or rather your successes, in your different organizations out there, it will make it easy for me, rather as a startup, somebody mentioned a startup, it will make it easy for me to just go past the impacts that you faced before I was there, okay? That is.
The guys will be attending the forum next week and also highlight what is the let me call it impact assessment of these programs to the young people. Once we have such a forum, what are you guys doing after this to make sure that whatever you taught the guys who are here today, that they have been able to implement some of these things you're teaching them? Because probably these guys will live here and you won't meet them again. So how will you know that you've really made or left an impact to them? More capacity building needs to be done in the rural settings. It's not like they don't have this knowledge, they have it, but please go there. Hata sisi ukituambia, most of the guys who are here, probably it's their first time getting the knowledge of these things. Akienda village ambie mwenzake SDG ni hii na hii na hii na achie hapo. Do you know, maybe huyo mtu wa village hana knowledge sasa ya okay, so how do I actualize the knowledge I have to meaningful and solution-oriented initiatives within my community? So one, more capacity building needs to be done. I feel like that really needs to come out clearly when you present your report next week. Otherwise, thank you so much, and I was happy to be here.